Welcome in. Welcome to the show, Whisper Nation. Good morning. It's Sunday. You know what that means? Fantasy football time. Fantasy football playoffs are here. They have arrived. They have officially come in strong. Not for the faint of heart. We've got a lot of players in today. We've got a lot of players out today. We'll be going through all those sit-start questions. If you've got them, hit them up in the comments. Let me know what you're doing. What's good? Good morning, Whisper Nation. Good morning, Ron. Appreciate you. Ronald coming in here. Let me know how your weekend's been. If you had a good one. As you can tell, boy's a little tired today. This morning. We had a holiday party last night. Friend did. Boy had a little fun. It was a good time. Good time seeing some friends. Let me know, Whisper Nation, how you had during your weekend. How was your weekend? All right. As always, this is Fantasy Whispers. I'm Johnny Game Time Hicks. Here, let me put up my a little username here. Find me on Twitter at Johnny_Game Time. If you have any questions, we'll be answering your fantasy football questions. It's playoffs. Week 15 is here. So we got to get you those wins. Got to get you on to the next round, to the championships. I know that Ronald has a first-round bye, so congrats to him. I don't have any first-round buys. I couldn't convince my league mates to allow first-round buys. Can you believe that? They all just want to battle it out. They want to see people slip up. So we don't have a lot of first-round buys. As I alluded to in the beginning of the show, there's been a lot of COVID cases, a lot of ins, outs, inactives, bringing up players, games being moved all over the place. We basically have games every single day of the week now, or it's like 8 out of 10 days we are going to have an NFL game. So that's kind of fun. A little bit scary, when you're dealing with, hey, do I get this guy in? Do I sit him for another player? Where do I go? It does get a little bit sticky. And I'll say that it's going to come down to how much can you stomach yourself. I will give you the recommended. Look at me. Listen to me. I will give you the recommended sit start, but also you have to determine whether or not you can wait that long if you need to look another or go elsewhere, because you never know if these games are going to actually be played. That's the one downside. All right, we got a lot of inactives and actives, people on injured reserve or COVID. So I'll try to make my way through that, as well as answer your questions. Let me know what questions you might have, and I'll answer them for you. But I'll just until we start getting those, I will go down this list. As always, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe, hit that bell so you get notified anytime we put out new content, which is daily, or go live. We go live all the time. And if you do us a huge favor, let's get to 20 likes today. We got to 43 or something last week. Got to a lot last week. Last week it was bumping. This week. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Look at me go. Look at me go. This has been a Sunday morning. Here we are. Good morning. There we go. If I could get the right thing. Oh my gosh. My dogs love just start chewing on stuff now when I go live. Okay. Here we go. So we've got some more defensive players out. Okay, a couple things. So Malcolm Brown is officially inactive. Gaskin is active. So Gaskin, great matchup today. Get him in your lineup against the Jets. Love starting our running backs against our Jets. Don't we? All right. Let's see. Let's work our way. Deandre Hopkins, torn MCL. We knew could be back for. Oh, yes, our guy. Look at this. This is what we get up for in the morning. Let's go. Tater Tot coming in. You already know, Whisper Nation, what to do. Got to hit him with that. Got to hit him with it. Let's go in the morning. Woo! Let's get it started. Welcome in. Get that energy going. All right. Tater Tot asks, Start 2, Ayuk, Gabe Davis, or Sony Michel. Standard, Conklin or Freiermuth. Okay, hold on. Is this all standard? Because if this, I believe, oh no. My dogs are just trying to give me a bad day today. All right. I'm in this case, I'm gonna go with Ayuk. And then as far as Conklin, or I'm going Freiermuth over Conklin this week. And then I'm also like, if I'm picking 2, I'm going out of the first 3, Ayuk, Gabe Davis, and Sony Michel. I would go Ayuk and Gabe Davis with Henderson expect to be back and somewhat healthy. We'll see. They keep saying he's healthy, but I don't know. So that's where I would go. I would go with that. That's where I'd lean, Pat, or Tater Tot. Excuse me. Called you Pat. Sorry. All right. Moving on to, so we mentioned if you have any more questions, just I'll get through them. Appreciate Tater Tot hitting us with that super chat. Really appreciate that. As always, if you do hit us with a super chat, you'll get we'll get a nice woo for you. Get the people going. We'll talk it out. Give you the best decision there. Conklin's not a bad one this week, but I'm going to stand the flames with Freiermuth. Tater Tot. All right. Tony Pollard. Expected to play today. Our guy, Gus Bus. Good morning. Good morning, Gus Bus. Let's go. Tony Pollard is expected to play. It's being reported a couple dozen snaps in week 15. Don't like that. Don't like our players being limited, especially in a week. Well, let's be real. We can't really have them limited. We need them to be in as often as possible. So the report is that Pollard will be playing through a torn plantar fasciitis. So it makes sense for his reps to be monitored. Ezekiel Elliott will start, but Pollard and Corey Clement will also be involved. Neither backup can be trusted as a fantasy football starter this week. I agree. And that's where I would be just trying to stay away from this entirely. I think now that Pollard is also active and splitting time, it could even eat more so into Ezekiel Elliott because they're trying to keep Ezekiel Elliott healthy. So this whole situation is not panning out well right now for the for Dallas Cowboys, but it is the Giants. So I do think if you have to trust Zeke in this situation, you certainly can. But I would not be rolling out Pollard at all or Clement right now. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Starting rolling here. You got your FanDuel app ready to go. You're gonna do a lineup? Let me know which one you're gonna do. I did one last night. Gus, and your boy had Henry in there. I messed up because I should have put Henry as the MVP, and I did not. I put in I had Ramondre as my MVP. Thought Ramondre was going to have a much better game. That Patriots game last night was a little bit of a bummer in some cases. But how about that Jonathan Taylor walk-off tutty? That was quite nice. I did get a little cute with my lineup last night, so that was the other reason why I thought I'd try to switch it up and get a little bit more cute. But let me know who you got today. What lineup you're doing. And as always, we do a lineup. If you're new to our channel, hit that subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified when we go live. But we do watch parties on Monday nights and on Thursday nights. We fill out a FanDuel lineup. If you're not in FanDuel yet, you could just let them know. There's a link in the description. Let them know the Fantasy Whisperers sent you. Just referral code of the Fantasy Whisperers. They'll give you a 20% bonus up to $500 right here. I'm going to throw this up here. I'll give you this little graphic here. They'll match up to 20% up to $500 with referral code the Fantasy Whispers. So if you want to join Gus Bus, want to join us, Fantasy Whispers, during a watch party, playing a little FanDuel, sign up. You won't. and appreciate if you use that referral code. Keeps our channel being able to put out more and more content, continue to grow, which is what we like to do around here, don't we? All right. All right, here we go. Let's go back to I keep trying to let's click this off here. All right, here we go. Okay. I'm back. All right, getting back to these questions. Here we go. Ronald, I can ask about my imaginary game. Mooney, Kirk, Van, or Gage. Well, this makes it less, not as much pressure, which is what I like. I would go in this. I'm Van. We were talking about this last night. I at a couple of parties this weekend I went to. I make it sound like I'm a party animal, but I'm not. I have holiday parties with friends, and then we only talk about football, which is very realistic. All right, so we were talking about how Van Jefferson is basically a guy where like he's taken over that Robert Woods role, not necessarily like running the same routes. I'm talking from just a fantasy football production standpoint. He is taking over that consistency that we liked from Robert Woods, and he's a guy that I don't it's going to be hard for me to get him out of my lineup just because he gives you both the solid floor, but he also has the really high upside because they also run him deep, which was a slight problem for Robert Woods. Let's call it what it is. A part of Bobby Tree's problem and why more people were on to him was because he didn't have as many explosive plays. Well, Van gives you that. And I do like Mooney this week. I do think Mooney has a good game this week. Kirk is somewhat interesting to me today. Although I think game script wise, I don't know if they're going to use that. And Gage is Gage. Gage is Gage, Jacobs or Gordon. I'm going to go with Josh Jacobs. I really like Josh Jacobs. Cleveland might have to run out a whole practice squad. So give me that. But I understand if you want to go Gordon because you just want to, because Gordon's in a good option right now. Gordon is a good option. Gordon also plays sooner rather than Jacob. So if you're nervous about that game, I don't mind if you go Gordon. That wouldn't bother me too much if I'm in your position. I wouldn't feel like I'm leaving a lot on the table if I went with Gordon over Jacobs for that, scare reason. So PPR, yeah, even in PPR, I think with Jacobs' workload over the last few weeks, especially, well, realistically all season long, he's been getting steady targets. And then with Drake out, he's been seeing a slight uptick even more. So I would personally roll out Jacobs, but that's because I do think that this game will get played. I also don't have to worry about this game as a way to win my matchup. So if I had to do that and I was worried about that, I'm going Gordon. And I don't think that's a problem. Start 2. Ayuk, Cooks, AJ Green, Parker, Gallup, full PPR, clap. Appreciate this question. I'm going to go with, rereading so I can, I would go with Ayuk. I'm picking 2. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going with Ayuk and Parker. AJ Green against Detroit could catch some, but again, game script, I think they're going to really run that ball. I think they're going to run the ball a lot. And then you're asking about, Cooks. We saw him get back on track. I like him more with Mills, but again, I just don't know. I'm going to stick. I would go Ayuk and Parker. Those are your safer ones. They do have higher floors today due to matchup. The Gallup one is interesting to me. That's where I was getting a little torn, but that's where I'll go. Conor or Edmonds, PPR, I'm torn. I would go Conor. Edmonds activated off of IR. Conor expected to be playing in this game. Again, Detroit, that's where you attack them. Their run defense is not great. And I would expect, even though Connor's coming in a little banged up, I actually haven't gotten anything that it was like, I haven't heard anything that was too terribly serious. So I do think that Conor is the guy that is going to get the bulk of the carries. And again, he is going to get the goal line carry. So for Arizona. So that's why I like his upside more today as well. Calvin saying, morning. Good morning, Calvin. Fantasy football got some Bro Cal 38 versus Austin. Oh, here we go. Listener League. Let's go. Bro Cal 30. Let's go, Calvin. You going to win? You going to win? Trees and Beats. Good morning. Good luck to everyone in the playoffs. Yes, good luck to you all. Pick 2 and a tight end. DJ Moore, Gage, GK, and Amari, Komet, or Brevin Jordan. I'm going to go with Komet. Now watch. Brevin Jordan's going to score. I was actually looking at him this morning. But no, I'm going to go Komet in this one. And then I would say for the other pick 2, I can't. This is so wild that I actually don't mind DJ Moore's. I don't mind DJ Moore's matchup as much, but what I do mind is him coming in a little banged up. That does worry me, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go Amari. I would go with Amari Cooper on a safe bet here. And I would go DK. It's not, again, it's going to be risky. It's going to be scary. The downside is bad. I'll be honest with you. The downside for DK and Amari is pretty low. But again, we were talking about this on the Friday show. How much can you trust DK? DK has been so non-existent this year, and you've got the whole Lockett situation going on. You got a difficult matchup, but you can somewhat pass. And I just don't want, when I'm going to the playoffs, if I have guys that are going in a little bit banged up, I get concerned. I hate having a Lamar situation and what happened last week where, and again, Lamar didn't come in banged up, but you get the point where that person only got like 2 fantasy points. It really screws with you if your guy gets, comes out early because he aggravates that injury. So I just like to go a little bit safer if I have the option. And for me, I think you're fine if you're going DK and Amari Cooper this week with those options. And then I would go Komet. Is Pitts droppable? I would not drop Pitts. This is what tight ends are. Tight ends are inconsistent no matter who you are, no matter what your name is on the back of your jersey. If you play the tight end position, guess what? You are inconsistent because that is the name of the game. That is the name of that position. Let me remind you, Travis Kelce, prior 2 weeks before he went mega balls on Thursday night, had put up back-to-back weeks of under 5 fantasy points. So, and if you're in standard, he had back-to-back weeks of under 3 fantasy points. So he is the best number 1 tight end in the league right now. It's just the position. I would not drop Pitts. I understand if you have hold on, Robert, did you ask me about the? Okay, I thought you were asking about the tight end position because I'm like, if you're asking me if I would rather start Komet or these other tight ends over Pitts, I wouldn't. But that's just what the position is, and he's a rookie too. You also have to realize that. That's also the other big part of this. He's a rookie, so expect him to have kind of up and down days. Aaron Jones or Barkley PPR. Also, I mean, Robert, if you have a better option, let me know. Like, what are your options on your waiver wire? And I'll tell you whoever you want to drop him for. But again, someone could always pick him up and then play him against you is the big issue when you're doing something like that. Because you're in the playoffs now. You can't just think about, you got to think about not only your moves, but your opponent's moves now. Like, you got to be tactical with not just who you're adding and dropping, but how does this affect your league mates? How is somebody on the waiver wire that I could potentially be playing going to pick up Pitts and play him against me? And then is that going to be what knocks me out? I rather not be in that scenario, especially because, okay, they get San Francisco this week, which is pretty difficult matchup for tight end. So I'll give you that. But then 16, he gets Detroit. Week 17, he gets Buffalo. Buffalo's pretty stout against tight ends. But again, I like the Detroit matchup. And again, you're seeing a tight end who has gotten 5 or more targets in every single game since his bye. He's also had, 5 targets was his low. He had one time. Other than that, it's been 6, 7, and 8 targets per game for a tight end. Give me that. I know that production isn't quite what you'd like it be or what I would like it to be, but it's a tight end position. All right, KTC Bull, Aaron Jones or Barkley PPR. PPR also Freiermuth safe start. Just lost Hawkinson. I do think that Freiermuth is. It's hard to have a better option, right? We're just talking. I just went on for like 30 minutes about Kyle Pitts and how it's harder to get a better option than Kyle Pitts just because it's the tight end position. But I think if you're filling in, I wish I could say I had Pat Freiermuth as a fill-in for Hawkinson because I lost Hawkinson in a couple places, and I'll tell you, not one single spot that I was able to pick up another tight end in was he as good of option as Freiermuth. So I do think you can play Freiermuth today. Tennessee is a difficult matchup, so temper your expectations. They usually funnel to the outside wide receivers. They don't generally they're pretty stout against the tight end position. However, again, Freiermuth has been a big red area target. So you like that boosts his value, and he can always get in a touchdown. I was saying last week was a terrible matchup for Freiermuth, but guess what? He ended up getting the end zone, ended up making himself a day. Minnesota is very comparable in how they guard their wide receivers and tight ends to Minnesota, which is what we saw last week with Freiermuth. So, and then Aaron Jones or Barkley PPR. I would go. Here's what I'll say. Baltimore is a difficult matchup for Aaron Jones. Baltimore's defense is also heavily banged up and put on COVID and all that. So they are just a shell of themselves. Now, how skilled will that be? That's up for debate. Now, Barkley, on the other hand, not a great matchup. Terrible line. Pretty much the only option. But it is PPR. He's going to get a solid workload. So I would say from a floor standpoint, I would just say Barkley. Just give me Barkley. Put Barkley in there. The matchup against Baltimore, it could be a good one because of how everyone's out, but it could be I just don't like the matchup on paper for Aaron Jones. That's why I would go with Barkley on the safer side there, KTC Bowl. But you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place on that one. So I appreciate the question. Appreciate that question. I'm just going to double check my rankings here to see which one I would go Saquon. All right. Andrew, Ayuk or Mooney, PPR. I'm going. Hold on. Ayuk or Mooney? I'm going Ayuk in this one. I do think that Mooney has the higher upside. I do like the matchup for Mooney and getting that potential upside. However, I want to bank on things I know, right? Playoffs, talking about things that I know I can bank on in my lineup. Ayuk also in a pretty solid matchup this week. Not only that, but when you look at Fields and how he's been producing as a quarterback, it's been on the ground mostly. And that upside with Mooney the last couple weeks hasn't quite been there as they get a couple other players more involved. They continue to run the game and run the ball quite often. I do like the matchup for Mooney. Again, if you win against, here's what I'd also say. If you went against a Kelsey or you went against a Henry or maybe a Jonathan Taylor, where you're trying to reach that higher upside, then I would go with Mooney in that case, because it is likely that Mooney could catch, one long 50-yard pass, and his upside is much more than Ayuk's in my opinion. But to me, Ayuk has the safer floor this week. So as long as I didn't play like a matchup where I got, smoked by a couple of players, I'm most likely leaning Ayuk. It's all about how your roster construction and your matchup. You just got to win your matchup, right? You need to look at your opponent, figure out what they're doing to determine what you need to do. Deontay Johnson or Jamar Chase? Deontay Johnson. This is one of those cases where, look, I like Jamar Chase's matchup. He has tremendous upside. Probably a higher ceiling than Deontay, because Deontay's only got his ceiling once this year. But I'll tell you, I do like Deontay's matchup, and Deontay is one of the safest players in the entire league as far as a floor. So, minute every week, especially if this is PPR or if it's standard. If it's standard, it's like walking 10 points for Deontay every game. Then he has the upside of, 25 plus. So that's where I would go. Where Jamar Chase, could he get you 25 points? So yeah, he's probably, I'd probably say more easily, because his quarterback could throw it farther and get it to his receiver further down the field. But again, teams also now know that and are banking on that. So big day for Diggs with Sanders out. I do think that we could see a big day for Diggs. I also think that we could also see an uptick for Gabe Davis as well. I think Gabe Davis is an interesting what the heck flex. But yes, I do think that Diggs will have a good game today. You never said Deontay, but who are you starting over Chase? Yeah, that is the other big point here. Who are you starting over Chase? But yeah, I would never sit Deontay, especially if it's a PPR, just because he's just every week 10 targets, and they're high quality targets, so he's catching a good amount of those. Just like Hunter Renfrow as well. Like Hunter Renfrow is catching like 10 of 11 targets every single week. So it's just like especially in a PPR, you just bank on that, and then you find your upswings elsewhere. Let's see. Starting Diggs and Hill over Chase. Yep. I think you're fine. Yeah. I like it. Good wide receiver core there, though. KTC Bull. I like that wide receiver. Morning, Frank Stommer. Morning. How you doing? Andrea, ask, pick one, wide receiver, 2 flex. Parker, Ayuk, Foreman, Javonte, or Jeff Wilson. One wide receiver. If I'm having to pick a wide receiver, I am picking. Let me check. Hold on. Is this PPR? Did you say PPR? Yeah, you did say. Oh, wait. No, he said half PPR. I think these ones are close for me, so I just want to. I'm gonna say Ayuk. Not this. I do love Parker's against the Jets. I like that, but Ayuk against Atlanta, I just think that has the likelihood to be a more competitive game. I don't know that Dolphins versus the Jets is going to be real competitive, so I don't know how much we can bank on Parker. I also don't know if the Waddle production just translates over Parker. So over to Parker, and he's always dealing with the issue. So I would go Ayuk as my wide receiver, and then 2 flex options. I'm going Foreman, and I'm still sticking with Javonte. I know he's coming a little bit banged up, but I'm still sticking Javonte. So Ayuk, Foreman, and Javonte are the 3 that I'm playing. Pitts, and I have Knox. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, you're good. I'm playing. You should play Knox. Knox is the right play, but I'm not dropping Pitts because I don't want Pitts to be played against me, or in your case, against you, Rob. Need upside. If you need upside, yeah. If you need upside, I'm still sticking with those three. I wouldn't change my pick on your three if I'm looking at, because Ayuk basically has the same upside as Parker. Foreman has the upside. Foreman's against the Steelers. Dalvin Cook with one shoulder just had a career day against the Steelers defense. Now, I'm not saying expect that exact same type of game, but I do think Foreman will get you over 100 yards today. I do think he'll get a touchdown today. So I think you're going to be happy with either one. Yeah. Ronald said I would play. I would play Knox as well over Pitts, but I would not. Hey, good morning, Pizza Belly. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. All right, Brian in here. PPR, Gaskin, Edmonds, Gage, or Penny. Pick one. Oh, this one. I'm going Gaskin in PPR against the Jets. Edmonds, I don't know quite the workload that he's going to get in this first game back. Again, James Conner is a little bit banged up coming into this game as well. And then I love the resurgence of Penny, but against the Rams, not looking forward to that matchup. And again, Gage, just I'm not sure what the upside is for me. And out of these guys, I think that Gaskin is the best one. He's got the best matchup, highest upside, and he's going to get the workload. Since week 10, Miami has been one of the leaders in running the ball as a team, and I don't expect that to change today against the Jets. And even in neutral game script, they've actually increased the amount of times that they were running the ball. My first lineup, FanDuel: Hurts, Foreman, Patterson, Connor, Chase, Kirk, Diggs, and Fant. Eagles defense. I like it. That's a good one. That's a good one. Pizza Belly, KJ Osborne, DJ Moore, or Miles Sanders. I would go with Miles Sanders. Going Miles Sanders. It's a little. I don't like recommending players that are coming in a little bit banged up, but two of these three players are banged up, and then KJ Osborne, I just don't want to. I wouldn't be starting KJ over these other two. So I'm just checking my. Yeah, I'm gonna see what they say about hamstring injury for. Yeah, I'm not. I would go with Miles Sanders. That's where I would go. And then if you were nervous about Miles Sanders, which I totally get, I totally understand why you would be. I don't mind. I would then pivot over to KJ Osborne. I don't know if I'm playing DJ Moore today. Just the hamstring injury concerns me a lot. You've already been kind of on the borderline of whether or not you should start DJ Moore. I mean, I was more so on the border of the last couple of weeks because of matchups and whatnot. But in a fantasy football playoffs, again, I don't want to get to I'm being much more safer, but trying to bank in as much upside as possible. And I think that, Miles Sanders gives you that because of the matchup against Washington and all their cases that they're going through right now. And then, with KJ Osborne, might not get as much of a workload as these other two, but because of what we're dealing with here, if you have to go there, Pizza Belly, I think that is a fine pivot. But ultimately, I would choose Miles Sanders. I would probably play Miles Sanders. All right. 1/3 PPR, asked Brian. Parker versus Jets. Ayuk versus Atlanta. Gallup at Washington. Amon-Ra St. Brown at Arizona. Pick 2 flex. All right. Well, I'm playing Ayuk versus Atlanta. And in the other case, I would probably play. Wait, Gallup's not playing Washington. The Cowboys are against the Cowboys are against the Giants. So Gallup's against the Giants. I would still play, which I actually don't mind that, but I would go with Parker and Ayuk. Amon-Ra is a little bit of a sneaky snart for me. It's just very concerning to get Amon when I have the options to pivot to Parker or Gallup. That's why I wouldn't get too cute with it. Normally, if I would say, yeah, I like Mon as like a what the heck flex, but when you have these options, I'm not going to get that too cute over it. So, yeah, my ultimate, what I would ultimately go with is Parker and Ayuk. Gallup is somewhat interesting to me, but I'm going to go with the safer call here. Safer floor, safer matchups. Is this defense? If you're asking for a defense, I would play Buffalo's defense. Or sorry, excuse me. I didn't see that. You had Green Bay at. If you have the ability to play Green Bay's defense today, I'm playing that. I'm playing Green Bay's defense because I don't think Lamar goes. I don't think Lamar Jackson plays today. I think he's out. I know it hasn't been ruled that way, but I think he is. From what I'm gauging at, I don't think that he's going to be in. Zach Wilson or Mike Lennon. Also, 20 people in here right now. Good morning. Let me know how your morning's going. If you had your cup of coffee, if you're in the playoffs. Also, hit that subscribe if you're new. Let me know. If you hit the subscribe, hit that bell. Let me know that you're newly subscribed. I'll give you a shout out. All right, Jacob asking Zach Wilson or Mike Lennon. I gave him the wrong info last week. Jacob, because you're like, hey, is Zach Wilson a good start today? And I was like, I don't know. And he ended up being a pretty good one. I would go with Zach Wilson today. I'd go with Zach Wilson today over Mike Lennon. Mike Lennon. What a world. All right. Scott coming in here. Chase Edmonds or gamble on Lockett playing Tuesday in flex of PPR? Ooh. I would just play Edmonds, to be honest with you. I would play Edmonds because I don't think Lockett plays. And even if Lockett does play, I don't have a lot of confidence in that matchup. Good question, Scott. Michael asking DK, Zeke, or Javonte at flex. Also Miami or Philly D. Ooh, I do like Miami's D. But I would go with Philly D this week. Just because everyone is out for Washington, it seems like, except for and I mentioned this last night, by the way. What could have been? What really could have been, Whisper Nation? Let me just gonna throw this out there. Put this in the old brain thought waves. That wasn't real. If Logan Thomas hadn't have gotten injured, you could bet he would have been the quarterback this week for Washington. And he would have been able to slot into that tight end position as a quarterback. That would have been beyond juicy. What could have been if Brandon Ayuk or if Logan Thomas hadn't torn his ACL. Unfortunate. Our guy, well, I'll get back up to that question in a second, but our guy, Eagle Fang, coming here. You already know what to do, Whisper Nation. Hitting us with that super chat. Woo! Let's go. Eagle Fang waking me up this morning. Appreciate it. Saying, what's up, pick 3, Bateman, Van Jefferson, Cole Beasley, OBJ, or Rondell Moore. So OBJ, he got cleared. Or it's looking like he's going to play. And you got the Van Jefferson in there. I do think with Bateman, with Lamar most likely being out, is actually gets an uptick for me. And I think he's a sneaky guy to play. But if you're asking me to pick 3 right now, I'm going Van Jefferson. I'm going, is this a PPR, Eagle Fang? I think you said this was a PPR. I would go, if it's PPR, I would go Rondale Moore. I think he's a sneaky play today, especially and moving forward. And then I would probably play OBJ with that. I would do the stack of OBJ and Van Jefferson. I know that's not the greatest kind of advice to be looking at going into the playoffs, right? First week of the playoffs, starting 2 wide receivers for the same team. Not the best. But again, I feel more confident in the floors of those guys as well as like the ceiling of, I mean, Bateman's ceiling could possibly just be the floor of OBJ and Van Jefferson, to be honest. So that's where I would go. Those are the 3. I don't mind switching if Rondale and Cole Beasley to me are very similar. Like Cole Beasley might have the slightly higher floor, but I do still think like Rondale Moore's only had really one breakout game. This might be an opportunity in a game where Cardinals could be up. Game script should be in their favor. And we know he gets the ball around the goal line like quick outs and things like that, screens. They'll get the ball in his hands. And especially with not having Hopkins for the next few weeks, they might try to figure some stuff out in this game and get him some looks just to see what they could potentially do. Sorry, Michael was asking this, and then I jumped over. Appreciate the super chat. Once again, Eagle Fang, if anyone wants to hit me up with a super chat, I'll answer their question ASAP right away. Get on it. I'll drop everything for you because that's what kind of person I am. All right, DK, Zeke, or Devonte at flex. I am going with. I would still go Zeke in this case. I'm concerned, yes, but you're looking at a limited action with Zeke, a limited action with Devonte and DK. I just can't trust right now, especially if I have better options like Zeke and Devonte. I'm not even looking at DK right now, so I would go with Zeke in this situation, and then I would go with Philly D over Miami. Also, have Lazard available. Yeah, I would go with Edmonds still. Lazard is an interesting one, especially with Baltimore being completely banged up. But yeah, I said so PPR. Yeah, I'm still going Zeke in that situation. To a 420. What up? What up? Wish me luck. Good luck, 420. Good luck. Joshua, Jamar Chase, or Barkley at flex. Okay, in this situation, this is what I'm going to tell you. This is kind of another scapegoat answer, but look at your matchup, Josh. If you are just like, hey, look at your matchup. If you're looking at your matchup and you see, hey, there's a chance I could take, if you could take 4 points, 5 points, and still win your matchup, then I'm putting in Jamar Chase. If you can't afford to have a 5-week or a 5-burger spot put up and still potentially win, then I'm going with Barkley because I think Barkley is definitely going to get you more than that floor play of 5. He's going to be the more solid floor guy. But does he have the upside that Jamar Chase has in the matchup? No. So I want Jamar Chase in my lineup, but I also need to look at what the matchup is. You need to look at what your matchup is and what you need from your players. Because these 2 plays, they're different, and I want to give you the right advice based on what you need. So if you're looking for a floor play, solid floor, does have the upside. We know Saquon can break anyone, right? He's a home run hitter. So he really does have that higher up, but it's against Dallas, so much more difficult matchup. Jamar Chase, we've seen what he can explode and be wide receiver 1 on the week. He can dodge some tackles, break tackles, and get a long one. But he can also do a lot less and get very few 1 target. So the downside is there for Chase. If he doesn't break a touchdown, you could be looking at a disappointing day. Pick one. Ask Zack, Metcalf, KJ Osborne, Gage, Van Jefferson in standard. I'm going Van Jefferson. Van Jefferson, man. This guy's been a stud. He's been a wide receiver 2. He's been filling in for that Bobby Trees role. Flex, AJ Green or Kirk, PPR. Starting Kyler and Prater with one of them. And Savvy. I like this. Okay. If I'm starting an opposite wide receiver, or if I'm starting a wide receiver to go with Kyler, to pair with Kyler, it's probably going to be Christian Kirk. AJ Green, I do expect to be the number one, the alpha there. I expect him to slide over. I think Kirk will get you 6 to 8 targets. Actually, let me check my rankings here because I actually am now talking to myself. Now I'm thinking through this process. I actually might have AJ Green higher in my rankings. Hold on. I'm going to look it up right now. This is PPR. Just because I know what Kirk is going to see the 6 targets. Like, that's what he's going to get. He'll get the 6 targets that AJ Green was seeing. Now, the question is, does AJ Green now get an uptick in his? Does he go, 8 targets, 10 targets? Potentially. Yeah, I still have Christian Kirk a couple of spots. Literally a couple of spots ahead of AJ Green. So I'd still go Christian Kirk in this one. But it's close. It is close. Good morning. We have Javonte or Josh Jacobs standard. I would in this case, I would go with Josh Jacobs. Great question. Javonte has been killing it. He is coming in a little bit banged up. That's why I would switch over and pivot to Jacobs. I understand if you're a little concerned because this game has been moved and you're worried about it getting played. I get it. If you want to then pivot over to Javonte because of that, I think you're okay. I think you'll be okay doing that. I think he has a good day as well. But I believe that Josh Jacobs will play, or I believe that the Raiders will play, and therefore Josh Jacobs will play. And so I'm not worried about missing this game. So I would personally play Josh Jacobs. Great question. Great question. Appreciate all of you guys for tuning in right now. If you give me a huge favor, give me a thumbs up on this video. Really helps. We got to 43 last week, Whisper Nation. 43. I don't know what we're at right now, but I could check in a second. Maybe give us, just turn it. It makes you feel good. Gives you that good feeling inside. Being like, you know what? I gave this video a like. It's going to help out because it does. And then hit that subscribe if you're new. You won't? Hit the subscribe. Let me know. I'll give you a shout out in the comments there. Give you a shout out in the comments. You know why? Because the cream always rises to the top. And that's what we do around here. Rise that cream, baby. Raise that cream, I should. Rise that cream. Yeah. All right. Ronald. Is Thielen out? Because if he's out, I would play Osborne. Thielen is out. Thielen, listen, I've been saying this for like 3 weeks now. I believe Thielen's out for the rest of the season. Like, they're not reporting it. They're not saying it, but it's a high ankle sprain. High ankle sprains, no bueno. No bueno. It's already difficult to come back after 4 weeks and be like, yo, this is confidence in this ankle after 4 weeks. He's not coming back. They're not winning. They're not getting to the playoffs. So I do not believe Thielen will come back this year. I switched Chase for Deontay and Gaskins for Patterson. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Oh, I see. For DFS. I don't know, dude. I love playing Deontay. But I don't mind. I mean, you kind of go for the upticks there. So I get it. Jonathan coming in here. AJ Green, Devonte Parker, T. Higgins, Ayuk, or Osborne. I'm currently starting Chase and Renfro as wide receiver 1 and 2, and I need one for flex. I don't know if I want to play both Higgins and Chase together. Yeah. fair. That's a solid point. I get what you're saying there. Um, Renfrew definitely in there. I love that. You're going with the okay. So here's what I would do. I would go with. Hold on, I'm checking my rankings real quick, so I don't give you a completely misguided answer here, because this might be an unusual answer that you're about to get from your boy here. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I'm definitely so. I've got Higgins as a wide receiver too this week. I also have Ayuk as a wide receiver too. I understand what you're saying about you're not wanting to play both Higgins and Chase together. But just hear me out, because you have Renfrow. Renfrow is like one of the safest wide receiver twos you got, or realistically, even he's been a top 7 wide receiver, especially in PPR over the last several weeks, because he's so consistent. He's getting so many targets. He's getting you a safe floor in that spot. Chase is your huge upside swing, right? We've been talking about, I've been going off about how Chase has a really, really high ceiling, but he can also get you the 2 to 5 fantasy points. I think it's okay to get T. Higgins in there. I got T. Higgins ranked ahead of Ayuk this week. I know it's the same game, or same team, but this really protects you. I'm not really worried about the Bengals scoring today. So and because of how your roster is constructed, Jonathan, I'm okay. I would feel confident personally playing both T. Higgins and Chase with Renfrow. If you would like to pivot and put in Ayuk, if I am going to pivot and put in a different player, it would, over T. Higgins. You're forcing me, I should say. I would say I would play Ayuk over Parker in place of T. Higgins if you didn't like playing both wide receivers from the same game. But to me, I'm playing T. Higgins. I'm keeping, like, he's been an absolute stud, and he's been playing better than Chase. So I'm getting him in my lineup. And I think you're going to be fine if you do that. Buffalo, I mean, it's the Panthers. It is the Panthers, but, I'm definitely, the Eagles have the best kind of, oh, man, we got a lot of questions. I appreciate you guys all with the questions. I've just been going a little too slow with the answers and responses, so I need to pick it up. But, yeah. And Savvy asking, sit one, Penny, Foreman, Jeff Wilson, or Javonte? Listen, if I have to sit one, I'm sitting Jeff Wilson. Sounds wild, sounds crazy, I know. But listen, I've recommended Jeff Wilson the last 2 weekends to you guys. I've sat up here, Jeff Wilson, he's the star. He's a star on good matchups, only guy back there, and he's been struggling. So I'm going to say if I had to sit one, it would be Jeff Wilson. Watch. Now, this is the week when it should have been. Yeah. Ronald's saying Jeff Wilson also the one you want to sit. Yeah. It's frustrating. Do it 420 said, I'm sorry for the disgusting question, Johnny. Hey, that's what we're here for. Disgusting questions. Half PPR, Tyler Boyd, Robbie Anderson, or Sterling Shepard. Thank you. In this case, I'm going with Tyler Boyd. I would start Tyler Boyd because I cannot trust these other 2 receivers at all. Nor do I like the matchups. And at least Tyler Boyd has somewhat of a decent matchup. Half PPR, yeah. And like we've seen Tyler Boyd be able to pop off from time to time. Gibson or Henderson? I'm going Gibson. Matchup might dictate a little bit more to go with Henderson. But again, with everybody out for Washington, I could see them giving Gibson 30 touches in this game. So it's just going to be volume. What up? I don't know who to do, Gaskins or Singletary. The answer is Gaskin, never Singletary. Singletary is a disappointment. Buffalo doesn't run a whole lot. They don't like to run the ball. And Gaskin, great matchup. He's been a solid RB2. They are giving him bulk load of carries there. Also, Malcolm Brown, inactive. So that's good news. Craig Reynolds looked like he was starting. Do I throw a Hail Mary and start him over Devonte? No. Do not get cute this week, Jonathan. Do not get cute. Starting your players, you're starting Devonte and Michael Carter. I don't mind picking up Craig Reynolds if you have a stash spot, because we'll see if Swift ends up coming back next week. Because if Swift doesn't come back next week, he's not coming back. Like, they're not going to pull him back for 2 weeks. So if Swift does not make it back next week, then it would be probably Craig Reynolds. Craig Reynolds does have some very nice indicators from college. He has some good stuff. There is some upside there for sure. So I don't mind putting him on my bench, but I'm not getting cute and playing him this week in a especially over Michael Carter. Michael Carter's going to get a ton of workload too. Got to ask Gaskin or Singletary. Gaskin. Claypool, DJ Moore, Brandon Cooks. We got Twitch over here. Appreciate the Twitch comment from Twitch. Claypool, DJ Moore, Brandon Cooks, pick 2 PPR. And this, I would go Claypool and Brandon Cooks. Unfortunately, I was coming in, I was willing to stick with the Flames of DJ Moore, and despite the bad matchup, but knowing that he's dealing with the hamstring, I had to get him out. All right, what's up? Huge sorry, our guy Baki, welcome in. What's up? Huge two questions. Should I start at tight end Dallas Cotter or Kyle Pitts? And with Lamar Jackson uncertainty, I have Justin Fields, but I should look at other quarterbacks and who to look for. Okay, so I actually do think I'm playing Dallas Goedert over Pitts today. That's where I would go in that matchup. I don't think Lamar, like you said, I don't think Lamar plays. I do think that Justin Fields actually a good pivot. Justin Fields, because of the rushing over the last few weeks, he's actually been a top 12 quarterback, actually, believe it or not, because of the rushing of when he's started and finished in those games. So I do think that you could still play Fields on a Monday night in what looks to be Minnesota is susceptible to quarterbacks, so it's not like it's a scary matchup. Justin Fields would be a guy that I would be looking at. I also do think here, let me pull out a couple of other streamers that you possibly could. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa. I do think Tua, that you could play Tua if you need to. If you feel a little bit more, if you don't feel as confident in Fields starting for you, I think that you could pivot to that. And it's not, I actually would probably go with Fields over Jimmy G, but if you need to go with Jimmy G, I think there are worse things that you could do as well. So Jimmy G, a little bit safer of a floor than Justin Fields, but obviously not as high of a ceiling. But again, these are playoffs, so I get where you want to try to go as with most certainty as possible. So that's where I would lean. But Kirk will get a significant increase in ADOT, so I would play Kirk. Correct. He would get an increase in ADOT. But again, you also have to realize that now it's a counterintuitive thing, because yes, his ADOT will increase, but his catch probability will decrease, because Christian Kirk is not a go up and get it type of wide receiver. He is not. That was the problem, and why we wanted to move him out of that position and went out and got a guy like AJ Green last year or during the offseason, because Christian Kirk is not good in that role. We want him in the slot. We want to be able to take advantage of his speed. And so that's the unfortunate part with Kirk. But we'll see. Maybe, hopefully he'll turn around. Gordon or Reynolds? I'm going Gordon. Gordon. Bruce asking 12 team PPR, 4 spots. Anyway, to get 2 running back and 2 flexes. Should I go all running backs? Aaron Jones, Dillon, Henderson, Foreman, Cole Beasley, Bateman. Yes, I would go all 4 running backs in this one. Yeah, I would. I would go all 4 running backs. If you wanted to take out one of the running backs for Green Bay, like if you wanted to go with, if you wanted to stick with Aaron Jones, pull out A.J. Dillon and put in Bateman, just because I think Bateman does have a little bit of a chemistry with the backup quarterback for Baltimore. And so I don't think it's like it's a little bit desperate. It's risky for sure, which is again kind of what I've been trying to persuade you guys off of all show. But I will say Tyler Huntley, he was targeting Bateman quite often, so I do think that that would be a decent pivot if you want to get out one of these running backs for Green Bay if you didn't want to start both of them. But ultimately, yes, I would probably just go with all 4. It's just the safest. Pick 2 in Standard League. Gage, Ayuk, Osborne. I have Lockett too. I'm going Ayuk and Osborne. In Standard, to me, Osborne, especially in a Standard League, Osborne gives me the same upside as Tyler Lockett. It's just the reality. They're both boomer busts, like deep down the field. Osborne's been taking the Thielen role, which is how many targets he gets in the red area in the end zone. So I do like that. I just think that Ayuk has the higher upside of Gage, and I just don't know if Lockett will be back in time to play this, if he'll get cleared. And I don't really love the matchup either, frankly, for Lockett. Need 2, full PPR, Claypool, Van Jefferson, Ayuk, or McLaurin, and McLaurin. I'm going to go with... I'm going Van Jefferson and Ayuk. That's where I'm going, Van Jefferson and Ayuk. Because McLaurin's still dealing with the concussion stuff. We'll see how he ends up playing. There are reports he's supposed to play, but we'll see. It's concussion stuff, and then who's their quarterback still? Like, that's my biggest concern. Half PPR, Brandon Cooks or Devonte Parker. I'm going to go with half PPR. Hold on, let me check my... I have 2 as my quarterback. Should I risk the stack or go with Cooks? Feel like I can't go wrong with either floor. It's a 50-50 matchup. I agree. I would go with Devonte Parker in this. If it's a stack, if you have Tua, I like stacking because stacking is pretty devastating when you're playing an opponent. And I do think that that's that's a pretty solid stack for you right there. So I would go with Parker over Cooks. Ayuk, Odell, or Gallup. I would probably go with Odell on this one. I'm going Odell. Good question. Josh Allen worries me. Him, Garoppolo, or Tua? Yeah, I'm sticking with Josh Allen. I won't lie. I do understand why Josh Allen kind of worries you, but Jimmy G doesn't have quite the upside that I would like to say to pivot in that. And then Tua, listen, I like Tua as a streamer, but am I going to get cute and start him over Josh Allen? I personally wouldn't, but Brian, I understand if you're truly worried. And I want to calm you. I want to help ease you if you are truly worried about Josh Allen. If you are going to pivot, I personally would not pivot, but if I had to, or if I felt the way that you did, I would pivot to Tua. That's where I feel the most confident in pivoting to. Do I want to do that? No, I would rather probably just stick with Josh Allen. And from what I was reading, it seems like he's fine. Like he's back. Baki asking, I have Justin Jefferson as my wide receiver 1. Who should I start as wide receiver 2? Brandon Ayuk, AJ Green, or Hollywood Brown? I would go with Brandon Ayuk as your wide receiver 2 because you have Justin Jefferson. Yeah. Would you go AJ Green or Russell Gage? Oh, he was asking Ronald. I would go in this case. I would go AJ Green over Russell Gage. Let's see. You feel Gage is safer? I don't know if Gage is safer. They're both going to get about the same amount of targets. I think AJ Green is better than Russell Gage. Appreciate you. No worries. Hey, that's what we're here for. Every single weekend, every Sunday during the season, we'll be getting these sit starts. So make sure you're tuning in here. Make sure you hit that subscribe. Start Gaskin against the Jets or Foreman against the Steelers. Or I'm trying to start both of these, Mr. Kev 06. I'm playing both. If you could only get in one, you can only start one of these. I guess I would go with Gaskin over Foreman, just because we do know what that Gaskin for sure is the guy. And they've been giving him, goal line work, all that stuff. Also with Brown inactive, that's where I would go. But I do think Foreman's in a smash spot. I think Foreman is going to have a very good game today. So I would try to get both these guys in your lineup if you can. Let's see. Gaskin, Jeff asking Gaskin or Melvin Gordon. I'm going with Melvin. Ooh, see, this one's a tough one. If this I'm going Gaskin actually over Melvin Gordon. That sounds crazy. It sounds wild, but with Gordon splitting time, Gaskin is just in a juicy prime matchup against the Jets, man. They just allow so many points to running backs. Allen Lazard or Albert Wilson? I'm going Allen Lazard. Oh, we got it. How did I miss these? Our guys. Gus Ramos, $2. Appreciate you. Got to hit you up with that. Got to hit you. Oh, man. Woo. Get you. Go. Woo. There we go. Appreciate that. Gus, would you play Russell Wilson Jr. over Javonte? Is this a super flex? Russell Wilson or Jeff Wilson? If it's Jeff Wilson, no, I'm not playing Jeff Wilson over Javonte. If it's Russell Wilson, the quarterback, I would play Russell over Javonte, which I know could legitimately be. All right, we got another one. You already know Whisper Nation hit us with another super chat here. So you know what that means. Got to hit him with the woo! Pick 3, Carter, Jones, Zeke, or Monty. Higgins or Gallup. I'm going with Carter, I'm going with Jones, and I'm going with Monty. Higgins or Gallup. I'm going with Higgins over Gallup. Appreciate the super chat. Yeah. So again, I'll repeat that. So my pick 3 for running backs. Hopefully you're not asking me to pick 3 out of total, but out of the 3 running backs, I'm picking Carter, Jones, and Monty. That's a great stack. How you got all those running backs. And then Higgins, I'm going Higgins over Gallup. Love that. Appreciate you hitting with that super chat. Michael Carter or Gibson? I would go Gibson over Michael Carter. Gibson over Michael Carter. Gibson getting a ton of workload. All right. Yeah. It definitely is. So, I don't mind if you wanted to, if you're worried about that game getting played, like that was your big worry, was like, hey, I don't know if I'm going to be able to play these games. or if my guy's going to get in, then I'm fine pivoting to Michael Carter. I think it's a fine pivot there. Ben, Marquise Brandon Ayuk at wide receiver 2 with the quarterback. With me expecting Lamar out, I'm going to go with Brandon Ayuk as your 2. I'm going to do a rapid fire here because I got to jump off. I got to make sure that I get my lineup set too. Monty or Jacobs, non-PPR. I'm trying to get both these guys in my lineup, but if I have to choose only one, I'm going Monty over Jacobs this week. But I'm trying to get both of them in here, Nick. Is Devonte Parker safe? I just want to play him over Higgins since Waddle is out in PPR. I'm playing I'm playing Higgins over Parker this week. I'm playing Higgins. I'm staying in the Flames. Like, that dude's been dominant. James Robinson or James Conner, half PPR. James Robinson. James Robinson is going to have a very nice. No, I didn't see him. Not until a little bit later, but your boy got him, I think. Hopefully. D Parker or Scary Terry at flex. I'm worried about Scary Terry, so I would go Devonte Parker. I'll go Devonte Parker with Scary Terry coming off the concussion, and then who knows what quarterback he's going to have, and then a difficult matchup as it is on top of all of it. Brandon Ayuk, Devonte Parker, or Javonte Williams. I play 2 of them. Javonte Williams, Brandon Ayuk. Those are the 2. OBJ or Saquon, PPR. I have Cowboys defense, by the way. I think Saquon's safer. He has a safer floor and higher ceiling, realistically, to me. I'm going to go with Saquon. I'm going with Saquon. Yeah, we got that. Getting that. Wooing our boy. Austin jumping in here. Appreciate you. Good luck to everyone. Have a great Sunday. Yes. Good luck to everyone. See, good morning, Chelsea saying good morning. Good morning, Chelsea. Miami or Arizona defense? I am going Miami's defense, James. Good question. But Arizona, not a bad one either. Ronald. Michael Carter or Russell Gage, PPR. I'm going with Michael Carter. Tua or Burrow. I am going with Tua over. Wait, yeah, I'm going with Tua over Burrow. Good luck, Whisper Nation. Said Austin. Good luck. Oh, I didn't see this one. Wanted to get this one in. Schultz or Osborne. I'm going Osborne on that one. I'm going Osborne. All right. I appreciate you all, Whisper Nation. I think I got to all of them. Yes, I did. I want to say appreciate you, all of you guys who tuned in today. Make sure you're hanging with us. Make sure you hit subscribe if you're new. Hit that subscribe button. Join us tomorrow. We will be going live for the watch party. We'll be making a DFS lineup for FanDuel. So if you're not signed up for FanDuel, sign up. Link is in the description. And you let them know that the Fantasy Whisperers, just let them know we referred you. Fantasy Whisperers referred you. And they'll give you a bonus match. And then you can come create a slip with us, root with us tomorrow. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up for me on this video. Good luck, Whisper Nation. Week 1 of playoffs. Let's get you to that next week on that road to that championship. All right. Until tomorrow, I'm Johnny Game Time Hicks with the Fantasy Whisperers. You can find me on Twitter at Johnny_GameTime. So follow me. You won't. All right. Until tomorrow, Whisper Nation. Good luck. Peace out.
Right here.
Look at you go. You made it to the end of another one of our videos. Hey, if you still have some questions, I totally understand. Or you just want to join an awesome fantasy football community, head on over to our Discord chat. Link is in the description below. And if you're still not sold on us, check out one of these videos.